It has been raining for 2 days straight now. Feeling cozy, feeling good. So let's get after this. It has occurred to me that gaming as a whole is shifting. I made a video the past couple of days about the handheld gaming situation, what's going on there. And so I went out and purchased a Lenovo Legion Go. Used it for less than a day and deleted everything, packaged it back up, and it's going directly back to Best Buy because we're just not quite there yet. We'll talk about that today. So, this is Good Citizen Coffee, roasted in Nashville. Great city, insanely good coffee out in Nashville. So whenever I talk about my favorite coffee shop here, it's this side of the Mississippi. Now, talking about this coffee in particular, I have no clue how it tastes. New coffee. So we're getting into some new coffees today. Let's crack open this new coffee and see what we have to taste. And I know what you guys can see here. I got my Chaos Emeralds, all of my Chaos Emeralds. And so I'm excited to drink out of my new cups today. It smells great. It's a Honduras. I like me a good Honduras. Ooh, yeah, Papa. Excuse the loud noise. We got ourselves our new Good Citizen Coffee, Honduras. That's a single origin. It's gonna be good. It's a washed. Thank the maker it's a washed. I do not like natural coffees. So let's grind this up and talk about how I made a mistake in buying the Legion Go. You see, when it comes to handheld PC gaming, I want to know more about it because I am a die-hard handhelds fan. I've played every single Nintendo handheld that they have come out with the exception of a few. I did not use the Game Boy Advance Mini or Micro because it's pointless and silly. And actually, you know what? We're going to do a full dose, and I am not going to drink all of it. I'm going to share some of it. So that's what we're going to do today. And so when it comes to the different handhelds that Nintendo has come out with, I have been a fan. Well, when the Steam Deck dropped, I was like, this is a great thing. It's a handheld thing, much like the Switch, which I love the Switch. I absolutely love the Switch. And then when they dropped the Ally and the Legion Go, I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. I want to try these. I want to play these. They weren't as awesome as I thought. Yeah. Now, when it comes to playing some of these different consoles or these different portable PCs, handheld PCs, the question comes down to ease of use. And the Steam Deck is undoubtedly the best at ease of use. I'm gonna get it someday. I see the Steam Deck and I use it and I'm like, dude, it's literally just turn on and go. Sure, you have to adjust a couple settings here and there, but ease of use. Yesterday is the 1 day a week. Mondays are the 1 day a week that I have each week to have uninterrupted work. My 2 kids go to my in-laws and they stay there all day long and I get to do uninterrupted work. Well, the first thing I did was I went to Best Buy during my day and I'm going to go and pick up the Legion Go and we're going to try this thing out because I felt compelled to do so. I'm like, I really want to see what this has to offer. The future of gaming is in this form factor. I truly believe that the portable PC market is starting now. It's very, very new, but I feel like this is the future of gaming. I really do. Oh man, that was tasty. And so I went, picked it up. It was awesome. It came in a beautiful box. In fact, I have it right behind me. In the box, I went to unbox it. I started setting it up and I'm like, oh, there's a setup process that needs to happen. So I'm going to pause this video right here and I'm going to finish the setup process. So I proceeded to do so. And in doing so, it took me pretty much all day to finish setting up every single aspect of the machine. Once it was done, I'm like, okay, time to download a game because what use is this? I'm not going to make an Excel spreadsheet on the Lenovo Go. Like I can because it's a PC and I thought that was pretty cool. I messed with the mouse thing a little bit, but I'm not going to do that. I want to play games. I got it to play games, specifically PC games. I want to play something like Fortnite or Call of Duty or something that is on PC, right? Call of Duty is something that you can't have on the Steam Deck. Fortnite you can't have on the Steam Deck, at least easily. And so I'm like, I really want to try this out. So I tried. Couldn't really get them going. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go something a little bit easier. I own a few games on the Xbox store, a Halo Master Chief Collection, Halo Infinite, so I downloaded Halo Infinite. Couldn't get it to run. I did drivers, I tried different things, I updated it, I even completely wiped it and refreshed everything and re-put on my login, everything. Couldn't get it to run. And then I tried a different game. I tried cloud streaming. So I did. I was like, oh, wow. You know what? Out of all of the cloud streaming I've done, I really enjoyed that experience. I played Halo Infinite multiplayer cloud streaming. Was great. It genuinely was great. I was very impressed with the experience. But still, it wasn't quite the experience I was looking for. I'm like, if this is the future, I'm a little bit apprehensive. I'm a little bit worried here, especially because of the experience that I'm able to have with two of the greatest portable gaming systems that we have right now, the Nintendo Switch and the Steam Deck. With the Steam Deck, all I have to do is turn it on and I'm good to go. In fact, during the setup process of the Lenovo Legion Go, I had to wait. And in waiting, I wanted to play some video games, and I was in my living room, and so I played my Steam Deck while waiting for the Lenovo Go, the Legion Go, to actually be usable. Never getting to the point where it was usable, and just getting frustrated with my experience. And then, while doing so, noticing a few things about the whole machine itself. One, the build quality is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. It feels robust, it feels premium, it feels like it really does earn its full price tag, which was after tax $808. That was cool. The different features that they're trying to do, the different things that they're trying to make happen seem great as well. Seem super cool. I like the idea of this Joy-Con style, right? Attaching them, having them down, making the mouse thing. It's a cool idea. Right on. All of the buttons are great, but then it started getting into the overwhelming category. I was overwhelmed by the options of buttons. I was overwhelmed by the different things that it felt in my hands. In fact, while I was holding it, I had a hard time getting comfortable with how my hands were supposed to be placed, because in my right palm, I had multiple buttons touching my inner hand, and I have big calluses from doing a lot of weightlifting, and so they were just rubbing against my calluses, and I was like, am I gonna have a missed input here? You don't, because those buttons are turned off. Let's pause for a second, look at the brew bed. The brew bed's looking real nice, it's really even. So I brewed it properly, we have some fines around there, and let's see if I was to pull back. Yeah, it is even, for sure, and that's hot lava, right? Hot coffee is hot lava, hot coffee grinds, because everything is hot. Let's go ahead and get this over into this cup so it can just sit. Let's take a look here. What do we have as far as clarity? Ooh, it's a little bit, it's definitely a heavier cup, that's for sure. Not by weight, but by the look of the liquid. It's a little bit, it's darker. It's not a, okay, that's good. So I guess the next thing we have to do is we have to pour some off. I just don't know which emerald to go with. So we got 1 through 4, so where's my D4? Do I have a D4 here? I don't. I have a D8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 and 2 is going to be green, 3 and 4 is going to be blue, 5 and 6 is going to be amber, and 7 and 8 is going to be smoke. And we got ourselves 5. We're going amber today. The amber emerald. Even though emerald is green, but whatever. This chaos in my amber. Here we go. It's gonna blend in the coffee. We pour high, get a little bit of aeration in there, and allow it to kind of cool down in the cup. So, the actual feeling of the machine was interesting. And as I was holding the Steam Deck with the OLED, now the display on the Legion Go does look better than the actual OLED itself, because it has a higher resolution, but it is still LCD, whereas the OLED is a lower resolution, but it's an OLED. So it looked cooler, it looked awesome. And I think that some of it had to do with the charm of seeing the Windows desktop in the machine itself, but there was just so much that I had to care for. The different applications, understanding that OneDrive syncs everything between all your different machines. So my mini PC now had stuff on this, but the apps weren't downloaded. It was just shortcuts, and I didn't have, it was a convoluted mess. And when it comes to my gaming experience as a dad, as a husband, I don't have the luxury of convoluted mess. And I know I talked about PC gaming before, and I know this is probably very, very basic PC gaming territory. And people are like, dude, this is PC gaming. You have to figure out all these different things. But if this is what the experience is going to look like when it comes to how you interact with the data and different software, there's a very, very specific reason why myself as a father and other dads in the community are like, dude, it's just too much. And that's truly what it came down to. All I wanted to do was play video games, and I had to sit there and go through a tremendous amount of hoopla to just try to get it going. And I understand it's the setup process, but if it comes to the future of gaming, maybe my tune is going to have a little bit different of a fanfare. Guys, this cup is beautiful. First sip, clean, nutty. It's nutty. Very clean. That's a very clean flavor profile. Oh, wow. I like that a lot. Quite nutty, though. Interesting. What do we have here? A peach cobbler, vanilla, and balanced. I definitely am getting a little bit of the more even. I don't know if I can take some of that the stone fruit flavor characteristics that it's claiming. Okay, I can get some of the sweetness of something that you would get more of a molasses style flavor from like a cobbler if you're using more of a darker sugar. It certainly is sweet. I'm not getting hits of that peach though. I'm not getting that stone fruit fruitiness, that balanced, rich stone fruit fruitiness. It is definitely a very, very easy cup to drink. That's for sure. So we'll just continue on with that. But when it comes to easy cups, easy things in general, I want my gaming to be easy. I want it to be simple, and I want the interaction with my game to be void of dissonance, so to speak. I want to know that if I'm going to play something like Halo or Final Fantasy VII, I don't have to worry about something getting in the way. For instance, I wanted to play Halo, so I booted up Halo on the Steam Deck because I'm like, I just want to play Halo. You can get Halo Reach 90 frames per second at the highest graphics that it allows you to play at and hold 90 frames per second. But then you run into some issues with the game itself, such as I wanted to switch the controls around because reloading with the right bumper is ridiculous. That is not how you reload. You reload with one of the face buttons, okay? Whichever one you choose. Well, that simply was not happening. I couldn't adjust the different controls. I switched from Halo Reach to Halo CE, and the second I exited the menus, it went back to Reach. And you go in there and you're like, why? I switched it. I applied it to every single game across the board in the Master Chief Collection, and it would not hold the controls. These are the kind of things that are introduced in this less conventional, right now, way of playing video games. And again, this isn't across the board for all video games, but these are things that we need to iron out. Part of the reason why I have such an affinity for Nintendo, and quite frankly, Apple products as well, is by and large the idea of a closed ecosystem, a closed experience. Now, does that mean that the flexibility that some people do enjoy is no longer there? Absolutely. It means that you can't adjust and do things without, well, hacking your system and then getting into a weird jailbreak situation. Some people like to change the fonts, change the backgrounds, change the colors, create their own very customized experience. And the Steam Deck has a really happy middle ground for that, but mostly is also a closed system. And I think that there's a very specific use case for what I believe to be a lot of people when it comes to this, and that's okay, right? Having the option to do things doesn't always mean that you need to be able to do it. And this is something I learned in my very short-lived time using Android. I wanted to try something different because I am someone who has used iPhones. And so I used an Android for probably like 4 or 5 months. Everyone I knew ostracized me. They did not want me to do anything with them because I ruined every single text chain, and quite possibly every single friendship that I had was in jeopardy because I switched to Android. Which is a silly thing that Apple does, making it almost impossible for people who are on Android to participate in a lot of the different things that Messages has, but hey, that's neither here nor there. My experience was great at first. The customization was incredible. The different things I could change around was beautiful. I felt like I truly had a piece of hardware that was innovative, that was advanced, that had very, very fun features, and I could do things that I didn't even know were possible on a phone and install things that I didn't even know I could install on a phone. It was the most eye-opening and exhilarating experience in those first weeks, if not first months. As time went on, I realized, yeah, this is cool, but I don't really use this as often. The novelty had worn off, and the realistic expectation that a device should have a seamless experience, especially as advanced as these devices are, started to set in. My world and my workflow, as well as my friends and ecosystem that I was a part of, was very different, and I had gotten a device that didn't quite fit in with the way that I interacted with my environment. My text message chains were all a mess, and my photos and videos that I send daily, if not multiple times a day, weren't quite making it to the receiver in the quality that I was expecting them to. My interaction with social media at the time was also having a hard time uploading and downloading good quality files, and I was just experiencing some dissonance. But I had the flexibility and a lot of the things that I really wanted and thought was really necessary. But because of the needs that I had in that given moment, that device ended up becoming a hindrance to the very thing that I was trying to do, which was be productive and, I call my parents on FaceTime I call them every day because they live in a different state. And so at the time I didn't have kids, but still I could talk to my parents almost every day. They had to download a different application, and it was just a lot to deal with. Well, if we take that and we apply it to gaming in general, in this idea of portable or handheld PCs and some of these experiences, I now understand the place in my gaming setup that these things serve. I think the Steam Deck is a very unique and, in my opinion, a very perfected product. It's open in some ways. Yes, you have their desktop version, you have their PC version that you can get into, you can boot into, and you can customize a couple things and change some stuff because, from my understanding, it's a Linux-based thing, which is nice, but it's not Windows 11 or Windows or whatever you're planning on using. So there are limitations that exist in there, and the customization that you want to do may have some complications because of the limitations. It's not the most powerful device, but it is by and large the most stable device. And because it's the most stable device, it can give you an experience that is somewhat expected, and that is playing a game. I want to play a game, so I just grab it and I play that game. You can do the customization thing where you want to customize the different aspects of performance that you want to do, but it's very simple in its delivery. The price point is relatively the same across all boards. Sure, some get down to $400. Steam Deck, as well as the Asus ROG Ally, at least this version of it, can get down there. You are compromising some of the performance, and with the Steam Deck, the only thing you really compromise is the internal storage, I believe, and now the display, but that's neither here nor there. They're around the same price, anywhere from $400 to $700. Yes, $808 after tax, but it's around the same price, right? Let's just average it out to about $700 for the top end stuff. Now, when it comes to the experience, though, the flexibility exists, the versatility. You can play Xbox, Game Pass, kind of. I didn't get to. You can play your Epic Store games, you can play different stuff because it's an actual Windows machine. You can play these games. But then you come down to the question, the games that you want to play that are not available to you on Steam because they are a part of the Epic Store or they're part of Game Pass. Game Pass being the exception, right? Well, I want to see that over on Steam, but we'll wait. Is that something that is necessary? And for you, you have to ask that question because you're the person that is going to be making the purchase or whatever it may be. But when it comes to gaming in my specific space, no, absolutely not. I don't have any games on the Epic Store except for Fortnite. Yes, you can get Kingdom Hearts on there, but I have Kingdom Hearts on my PlayStation. Do I want my PlayStation games to be able to play portably? Yes. Is the portal the way to do it? Absolutely not. Do I want a PlayStation portable? Yes. I would sell my PS5 if I could play all of my PS5 games portably, local portable, not cloud portable, local portable, and stable. I would ditch performance. I want 60 frames per second, and I don't even care if it's 720. I really don't. If I can play those games in that form factor, I would be sold immediately. Nintendo Switch doesn't offer 60, but Nintendo Switch does exactly what it said it was going to do. And that is exactly why I purchased it. The Steam Deck is doing exactly what it said it was going to do. Now, at first, a little dicey, but now it's absolutely doing exactly what it said it was going to do. The Legion Go is on its way. It is the beginning, and as I said in the last video, the worst version of itself that it will ever be. The Ally the same, and the ROG Claw, or not ROG, the MSI Claw, I can expect to be very similar. I think that my expectation was that it was going to be a little bit more, I guess I am finishing this. It was going to be a little bit more polished than it was. And I'm understanding that as my needs as a gamer, right? Needs are really simple. I need to be able to relax at the end of my day, my long day, taking care of kids, planning videos, educating myself on how to do this job. I need to be able to relax and take a step back and really be able to enjoy these games without the technology getting in the way. One of the greatest things that Apple did was remove buttons from the face of their device. And the reason why that's great is because all of a sudden we are now in a point where we are swiping and moving and doing things instinctually or instinctively. I think it's instinctually. I don't know, didn't go to college. We're doing it out of instinct, our instincts. And we are interacting with the device and getting to the thing that we want to do without having to think about it. And when it comes to interaction, right, with the exception of intention is important when we're interacting, but still, when it comes to interaction, I'm intentionally wanting to play blank. I want to be able to pick up and be playing blank before I realize that I decided to turn on the device. I want to be able to press a button, turn on, and I'm in there. I want it to work immediately. Because I, in my life, along with a lot of other parents out there, don't have the luxury to be able to have A, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 steps before we get to B. It needs to go from A to B. And in some instances, we need to get from A to D without having to do B and C. We need to be able to turn on the game and pick up where we left off. Not have to open the title, hit the save file, boot it up, and get going. That's why Xbox and their, Quick Resume is incredible. I wish PlayStation did it. Nintendo Switch certainly doesn't do it. But with Nintendo Switch, I'm doing a lot less hopping around in between games. Just trying to hop back into my Fire Emblem playthrough, which has been an incredible experience. I personally love the idea of gaming becoming portable. Flexible location gaming, also known as Flexico, as I'm calling it. Flexico? No, not Flexico. Flexilock. Flexilock gaming is... Flexico is... What is that? Is that the name of this desk? Flexi Spot, I think. I don't know. Flexilock gaming is something that I love. I love to be able to sit at my desk, go to the TV in my living room, lay in my bed at the end of the day, whatever it may be. I love to be able to interact with my games that way. And so it excites me that gaming is now looking to that experience. But as it stands now, we are pretty far away from the seamless experience that is to be promised with some of these devices. The ROG Ally missed the mark in a lot of ways, with battery life, with heat management. The Legion Go introduced some things, but also because of it, introduced a tremendous amount of complication, right? Those removable controllers that are attached very, very finely, like it's such a small attachment point, just scream damage. With kids, it is just not at all a safe device to have laying around, especially at its price point. I love the robust nature of the Steam Deck. It is a unibody design that's highly repairable, right? They made it that way. And I think the combo of a PlayStation 5, a Steam Deck, and a Nintendo Switch is, for me, the perfect combo. I'm really excited to see what Nintendo has next. I don't know what they have next. I have no clue. And if they follow suit, it's not gonna be good because they always follow up a banger with a banged up version. I just hope that maybe we break a trend here in the coming future. But when it comes to gaming as a whole, it's pretty simple for me. I need to be able to grab and go without thinking about how I got there. Simple as that. All right, well, I didn't quite finish this. I am gonna have my wife taste it because I feel like this is really tasty. If you want to know where I got these Chaos Emerald cups, it is in the description below. These are my Chaos Emeralds. I love them. They're beautiful. And enjoy the rest of your day. And as always,